Hello and welcome to Connecting Hope. I'm Will Hampton along with Monica Greer of the Hamilton County Council on Alcohol and Other Drugs. And here we are. We're about a month into 2021.
Yep.
And the big question is, how's everybody doing? How you holding up? Mental health is a big issue.
Yeah.
And with the pandemic still there and the vaccine's still on its way for most people. How are you doing? Everybody doing okay at your house?
Yeah. We've been touched with COVID, but everybody's recovered. So yeah, it's just a weird, sad time. But
Well, what we deal with a lot on this show is, of course, is substance abuse, and our success stories tell great stories, but also the mental health aspect of all this that's going on.
Yeah.
And a lot of people really struggle with it.
yeah, especially the social aspect of it. You know, a lot of the elderly people that have been in their homes for so long,
Yeah.
not being able to get out, and family members not being able to see them, and same with us. It's hard to
Yeah.
adjust to that.
Mom watches this show, and about all she sees me.
Yeah.
She's probably okay with that. But love you, Mom. Hey, real quickly, we went out New Year's resolutions, and a lot of people don't do them anymore, but goals for 2021. Do you have resolutions and goals for 2021?
I do have goals. I don't do resolutions because it's too stressful for me to think January 1, I've got to do exactly what I said. I do want to be healthier, more active, probably 80% of the community.
Yeah.
That's one of their goals. But yeah, that's mine. What about you?
Just lose some weight,
Yeah.
look better in this chair.
Yeah.
And you're right, just the fitness
Yeah.
and just feeling better.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. So I went out and about and found some people who are talking about resolutions and their goals for 2021.
My New Year's resolution this year is to stay healthy, just to stay, to be strong with my mask when I'm not doing interviews, and to just to keep my family and the employees of the store healthy and happy. And
Well, the major thing is to help my daughter graduate from college and start her new career.
My goal for 2021 is to stay healthy and stay happy.
So without question, a lot of those folks, what they want to do is stay healthy. They want health to be a big part of 2021. And one thing I always laugh about with resolutions, I was asking some of them, but they wouldn't give me the answer, is how quickly into the year, here we're, like I said, we're a month into the year. How quickly into the year do you typically find out that you're not going to do what you said you would?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it is tough. I think for me, I'd like to have a vacation set up, so then that would help me work towards that. But this last year, that didn't happen. So
Yeah.
I'm going to blame it on that.
Yeah. Well, I think, like we said, the mental health of having those goals, but not putting too much pressure on
Yeah.
yourself to achieve them.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we're just getting started, and here's our favorite part of the show, the success stories.
Yes.
Aren't those great?
Yes, I love it.
And tonight we have part one of this week's success story.
I probably knew in my early 20s that there was something not quite right about the way I consumed alcohol, about the way I wanted to consume alcohol, but I was prideful, or I don't know. I thought that I could truly outsmart it, out-willpower it, out-manage it, and I attempted to do that for many years. With arrests here and arrests there, and it's today mind-boggling to me that I thought being arrested fairly regularly was kind of goes with the territory. I remember moving down here from Chicago about 12 years ago and getting into some legal trouble here for drinking and driving. And it was a pretty big deal here. And I was like, there was always brief periods that just ended with, even more trouble, even more heartache, even more pain to my family and my children. And 10 years ago was the last time I was in any legal trouble, and I thought, this is it. This is absolutely it. I had to wear an ankle bracelet for 3 full years. 3 years. I couldn't drive for 10, is what I was told at the time. And I was like, holy cow, like, the bottom has to be it. Like, there's nowhere lower to go. So I went into the recovery community in Hamilton County and I dove into this AA thing, but not fully, 10 years ago. I did some stuff. I pick and choose. They gave me some suggestions and showed me a way out, and I didn't do all of them. But I managed to not drink for a few years, 4 years. But I was really miserable, super miserable. I kept thinking to myself, if this is sobriety, I don't want any of it. I would still say to this day that that was some of the most miserable time in my life. And surprisingly, not surprisingly, it led to one last 36 straight hour drunken thing. Luckily, I did not have any legal consequences to that. I was alone. Today, I still say that, you know, this power greater than myself planned that whole thing. Because I woke up laying on a hardwood floor, my hardwood floor, but alone. And I was really in pain, like inside there was something in my soul, I could feel it. And I thought, holy cow, maybe this is the bottom that I have always been looking for. Maybe it wasn't what I thought it was.
Thank you again for sharing. We really appreciate the success stories. That's just part one of that one. We'll have part two a little bit later in the show.
Yeah.
Coming up next is Christian Ludiker Siebert with the Hamilton County Systems of Care. That's just really a unique organization, isn't it?
Yeah, just a lot of collaboration going on with them, with a lot of different organizations within the community. Kristen is amazing, and like she says, if she doesn't know the answer, she will get you the answer. So she's just a great leader in that role.
We're going to hear from her next when Connecting Hope continues. Welcome back to Connecting Hope. We're so glad that you're joining us here on TV40, and it's my pleasure to welcome another guest. We have Monica Greer, of course. I'm Will Hampton, but Kristen Ludiker Siebert from the Hamilton County Systems of Care. You're the coordinator there.
I am.
Welcome to Connecting Hope.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
For someone that may not know, what is Systems of Care and what do you do?
So Systems of Care, the idea behind a Systems of Care is having a framework for different groups to come together, ensure that strength-based resources are out there for our children and families, and to provide access to that whole array of mental health services. So as the coordinator, I kind of tie it all together. I kind of make sure that people are communicating with one another, know what one another are doing, know what resources are out there for the families and youth in Hamilton County. And then with that said, I'm just Hamilton County. So there are coordinators for other counties throughout Indiana, and we all report back to the Division of Mental Health and Addiction on the state level. So they guide us generally on what to do and where to go, but we meet the needs of our community directly.
So sometimes maybe someone in Madison County says, okay, I need help, but actually the help is for someone I know who lives in Hamilton County. Mm-hmm. But you can connect all those dots.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yes, if someone in Madison County said, I know someone in Hamilton County who needs assistance on really anything, right? Because I kind of say my job is to know a little bit about a lot of things. So I know, I may not have the answer, but I know who has the answer. Yeah. So that's most of what I do really is really just connecting those resources.
Yeah.
Great. So what would you say the main functions of Systems of Care is?
I'd say our main functions are, like I just said, that connecting with resources, right? I do release a list of resources. Monica knows, she gets my email at least once a week, if not 2 or 3 times a week, just depending on how much and what comes across my email. And I link those to lookupindiana.org, which is a website that each county can have a space on. Right now, the administrator of that page, so Hamilton County's page administrator is me as the SOC coordinator, so it's the SOC coordinators, but you can also work with Look Up Indiana to have other people running that page for that county. Okay. So there's that resource piece. There's also just kind of the resource and connection hub. Like I was saying, someone says, I have a family who needs X, then I could say, well, then meet this person who provides X. That's
Yeah.
I just kind of know who does what.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. So we know that you are the director. Who do you have subcommittees? Who does the action work of what you're doing?
Of what we're doing.
Yeah.
So as the coordinator, like I said, I kind of tie everything together. So we do have different subcommittees, different groups. We have a trauma, adversity, and building resilience training that collaboratively we put together. So that was with different schools and different community providers. So that's a training that's available. We own the documentary Resilience, the Biology of Stress and the Science of Hope. So that is a documentary that then we either discuss or have a panel afterwards to talk about how we build resilience within our community. We have a Family Resource Action Council, which the thought behind that is if you are working with a family and don't know where else to go with this family, don't know what else to do, we bring different brains to the table. And we kind of spitball and brainstorm, and that family will walk out with a recommendations page. So we have those things. We also do separate celebrations, so maybe Children's Mental Health Awareness Day, September Suicide Prevention Month. I am a suicide prevention trainer myself, so I am a trainer in QPR. I also train in LGBTQIA focused cultural competency and humility. So I have trainings on that. There's just all sorts of things, and then different partnerships that we have as well.
Good. And you also have a family night. Tell us a little bit about that.
We do. So we have a Youth and Family Alliance, and our Youth and Family Alliance meets right now virtually the fourth Thursday of every month at 6 o'clock. And this is it's a committee, but Alliance it really embodies it more because there's not so much work to do as it is working on those passions, what they want to get out of it. So our Youth and Family Alliance meets once a month. We have different initiatives going on through there, such as a self-care workshop that we're currently working on. Our youth can't wait to do what they're calling We Don't Talk About That. So kind of those stigma things that parents don't want to talk about with their kids, but our kids want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So they want to put that together, and they want that to be in person. So we're holding on that until we can be.
Sure.
We're getting ready to do monthly teen and parent cafes virtually as well.
Great.
So people can come to those Zoom meetings and participate in those cafes, those guided conversations about different topics.
Good.
I know a month ago or so, at Monica's meeting of the Hamilton County Council on Alcohol and Other Drugs, you presented and you had an opportunity to speak to the group virtually. It was through a Zoom, I believe, if I'm right. How often does that happen, and how available are you to speak to other groups virtually now, especially?
So it actually, I've been in this position now for about 3 years, so it's kind of tapered off, but it almost seems like there's a resurgence now, right? Because there are new people coming into different positions, and they may not know about system of care. So I am really available to do that. Just talk to me about your schedule, and we can get stuff in there, especially virtually. It's much easier than, going places right now. But I am more than willing to present on what is system of care and what's the benefit of being involved in the system of care.
And you can cater that presentation to what they're looking for probably too, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because what makes system of care different than Monica's group, for example, or other community coalitions is we have that focus on services for youth and families regarding mental wellness. So yes, that has a lot of facets. So that will involve drugs and alcohol. That will involve mental health services. That will involve physical health, right? But our focus there is that youth and family piece. So that's kind of how I become involved in other things is Monica's initiatives have a piece in my world, and my initiatives have a piece in Monica's world.
Yeah.
So for 2021, what's on your slate?
So we have started and are having a big conversation right now regarding domestic violence services in Hamilton County. And it is not anything that we've gotten completely out there quite yet. We're having those conversations within our monthly system of care meetings. We do meet every month. It is the third Tuesday of the month at 8:30 a.m. So we are talking right now a lot about what do domestic violence services look like in Hamilton County. We're also We want to address the minority populations, making sure that those services are there for our minority populations as well. And our focus there is really starting within schools and within our youth to make sure that, again, they have the services and supports really that they need. And then other things we're just working on, getting those other workshops together that I talked about, the self-care stuff. Like I said, meeting the needs of the community and what we're seeing right now.
Well, thank you so much for coming in on Connecting Hope. Real quick, is there a website or a best place for them to find you, for people to find you?
Sure, yeah, the best place to find me is right now at my email. So email me. It is Kristen, so Kristen _Siebert, SEIBERT, at nobl.k12.in.us. And then you can also, I mentioned Look Up Indiana. You could also go to Look Up Indiana, www.lookupindiana.org, to look at the resources under Hamilton County and other counties as well.
All right. Well, Kristen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your service.
Thank you.
We're back with more Connecting Hope after this. Welcome back to Connecting Hope. Will Hampton, along with Monica Greer from the Hamilton County Council on Alcohol and Other Drugs. Like I said, we're about a month into the year. We've talked about resolutions, but what about with you guys at the Hamilton County Council? Next up for you guys, or like you said, a lot of grant writing, things like that?
Yeah, and we will have a prescription take back coming up in April. Just hopefully get back into community fairs and events if the world is back to back to doing that.
How do people get information on the drug take back? Is that on the website, or is it?
A lot of it's through social media and newspaper, and we do it the same time of year every year at the same location. So a lot of people that have dropped off before drop off again, but it's always at the Riverview Health in Noblesville, the last Saturday of the month of April and October.
We'll talk more about that as we get a little closer, but right now it's part 2 of tonight's success story.
I called a friend that I knew in AA. She came and picked me up, and I went to a meeting back to those same damn rooms that I swore were not gonna work for me. And I cried through the whole thing. And it was, it was really a powerful morning. And throughout the next few days, several people were very welcoming to me, and it was really nice. Like, I felt all of a sudden like I really did belong in this group of motley, not so motley crew, I finally realized that the thing that held me back through all of the times before was humility. I didn't have any. I was so prideful that I never asked anyone for help. I never found a sponsor. I did some of the things they told me and expected it to work. And it just didn't work because I didn't do any work. And this time I found a sponsor who was amazing and made me do the things that I didn't do before. And when I say made me, I wanted them. I was willing. I was completely hopeless, and I had given all of it up. There was no fighting. I wasn't gonna fight it anymore. And it sounds so cliche at the time. I was even mad at myself for saying those things. But the funny thing was, it came almost easy in the beginning when you want something so bad. And I was like, there was just something totally different about this whole experience for me. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I tried to tell people that I work with now, sobriety is hard. Sobriety takes work. Changing your life takes work. But I can tell you that nothing I've done in my life has ever been as worth it as this. And I've done some pretty cool stuff. I'm a better mom. My children are thriving. I'm a better daughter. I'm a better friend. And at the end of the day, every day when I go to sleep, I feel like I'm a better person because of this program and because of what all of these people freely taught me and, donated some time to me here and there. And, there's rough times, but there's rough times when I wasn't sober. I think there's always going to be rough times in life, but having a group of people, a community of people that you can lean on is a really amazing feeling to have. And I believe if people want to have, what we have, then they just need to find the people. And we're all here, I had such a false idea of what AA was, what recovery was. I was never gonna have any fun again in my whole life. I have all kinds of fun. I really do. Now I can't even imagine a life without the community that I have.
Once again, another great success story, and thank you for sharing the story, but also just, being willing to help others with that story.
Yeah, incredible courage, and just so glad that people are willing to share with others their journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, thanks to Aspire Indiana Health and Daryl Mitchell for just reaching out and getting people to share their story. He does a great job helping us with that.
Yeah, and he helps a lot of people himself
Sure does.
in recovery, so yeah.
We're going to take a break, back to close out this edition of Connecting Hope after this. Welcome back to Connecting Hope. I'm Will Hampton along with Monica Greer, and wrapping up another edition of this show that we've been doing for now 22 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I do want to say. If people are out there watching this show and you say, you know what, I'd like to help them out, you can reach out to us here at TV40. We still need underwriters to continue this show.
Yeah.
We hope to help people, but we need people to help us.
Yeah.
Produce.
Need some sponsorships. So, yeah.
That's always good.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts about where things are? Our show tonight, we had Kristen in, and she did a great job as always.
Yeah, hopefully people are continuing to learn about resources and services that we have in the community and the surrounding communities, which is nice.
Again, your email if anybody needs to reach out to you.
Monica, MONICA, .Greer, GREER, @hamiltoncounty.in.gov.
Thank you,
Thank you.
and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Connecting Hope.